Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessings. You're tuned in to the Sajdah Saturday Morning Coffee Talks, where we talk about life, love, and business.
O Allah, guide me among those whom Thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom Thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom Thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever Thou dost grant me, and deliver me from the evil of what Thou hast judged. Surely Thou judgest, and none can judge against Thee, and he whom Thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art Thou, O Lord, and exalted be Thee above what they set up besides Thee. I bear witness, nothing deserves to be served besides Thee, and I bear witness that Muhammad is Thy servant and apostle. Amen.
I have received so many pleasures, so many very good to look at, whether you own them or not. It's a pleasure just to look at such presents. Why, I have never witnessed so many presents. I think I have to build me a house for presents. This shows what Allah can do for you and me if we believe in Him.
There is nothing that we could not accomplish in the name of God. You know what your problem is? You don't have even a worthy goal to strive after. I'm going to give you an assignment today. Here's an assignment. Is this something you want? Do you want something? Something that you want, but you have not been able to get it? Huh? Close your eyes. Do you see it? Whatever it is that you want, first envision it. You got the picture. Do you see it? All right, now the question is, you have to claim what you see. I claim this. I claim it. I believe with all my heart in the name of God that I'll bring what is in my imagination into reality. We're going to bring it back like it never was. I see in the dome the name Allah written in Arabic. But I can't just dream, I gotta go to work. How do you bring it into concrete reality? First, without faith, you can't work the vision.
Assalamu alaikum, family. Peace and blessings. Welcome to the Sajdah Saturday morning coffee talks, where we talk about life, love, and business. And we are doing a little money psychology tune-up this week. How are we doing that? We're doing it by having these conversations, talking about it so that we can be aware of it and be more intentional about it. And it's an interesting week when it has come to money and conversations that have been out there. So welcome to everyone in the chat. I see you all out there early today commenting. If you tuned in Thursday, what I asked you to do was to bring a little homework with you. You don't have to have been here Thursday to do the homework. But what I want you to do is type in the chat something you learned or remember about money from your childhood. Some of us have cliches that we heard around our house, like money don't grow on trees, or money is your best friend in your pocket, whatever it is. Let's type that in the chat so that we can dissect it. So all right, hope y'all having a good week. Y'all getting ready for the holidays. This is an interesting time of the year too for money psychology, because we all start to feel that urge, that itch to kind of just go out and attach love to our spending. And sometimes we go overboard, and sometimes we expect people to go overboard. And so it's an interesting time of the year, in my opinion, when it comes to money psychology. But something's been trending this week that I think is a good way for us to kick off this discussion, because I know you all been seeing it, where our sister Taraji P. Henson talked about being tired, in essence, being sick and tired of working hard and not getting enough pay. And I think that this statement that she made, followed by her emotions, it resonated with so many of us. Resonated with so many. When I was watching it, and I was welling up as I was watching her say it, because listen, when they came out with the movie Hidden Figures, I looked like saying, yeah, I know that. I've lived that life. I've been on projects. I've worked. I'm one of those kind of persons, and this is a blessing and a curse for me. I'm blessed in that God gives me big things to do, right? Like big projects. And oftentimes I'm not always recognized for the accomplishments that I achieve on those big projects. And in many cases, what becomes something that is so exciting for me becomes a trial, because I get people trying to attach themselves. And sometimes I finish the project and somebody takes the credit or tries to take the credit. Allah always, finds a way to redeem me, because he's prepared that table for me already. But it's a trial. And so I want to play that clip. It's about 3 or 4 minutes of our sister Taraji P. Henson just talking, and I just want to speak to it. And meanwhile, I want you all to type in the chat what you think, some of your money psychology little quacks and things like that, because what I believe personally, and what I've learned through studying emotional intelligence, and when I developed my style, which I call authenticity coaching. And in the authenticity coaching, what I do is I combine emotional intelligence, I combine this money psychology concept that I've been working on for years now, mental strategies, things that I learned growing up and through my own life experiences, and then things from my spiritual background, my foundation as a Muslim follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That has become my authenticity coaching style, and that's the space from which I come. So I'm gonna add that video to the screen. Pay attention, and remember, while you're here, if you enjoy this kind of content, make sure you like, subscribe and support the content, like the channel, support with a Cash App, support by forwarding it to somebody, support by sharing it. Let's get, the content up. YouTube is always lying about what's, how many people listen. I remember, I think it was Thursday, there were probably about 20 of y'all who are active in the chat. And then I think YouTube said there was only 2 of y'all viewing. And then I have a separate app that tracks it, and there were 32,000 views. So we don't worry about that. For me, it's more important for me to get the message out and the word out that's on my heart. This is really like my ministry. And so it's like Allah gives me things to say and to talk about, and I kind of play around with it in my mind. Sometimes it comes on the spot. Sometimes it comes during the week. So anyway, let's play this. So I'm going to come back on the other side. I'll keep myself on the screen, and I'm going to come back on the other side, and we're going to have a talk. I'm not going to play the whole 9 minutes of it. I think it's just the first maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Okay.
We said, stop talking. Are you thinking about it?
I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over. You get tired. I hear people go, you work a lot. Well, have to. The math ain't mathing. And when you start working a lot, you have a team. Big bills come with what we do. We don't do this alone. The fact that we're up is a whole entire team behind us.
Yes.
They have to get paid. So when you hear someone saying, oh, such and such made $10 million, no, that's not that didn't make it to their account. Know that off the top, Uncle Sam is getting 50%.
That's right.
Okay. So do the math. Now we have 5 million. Your team is getting 30% or whatever your team is off of what you grossed,
Sometimes
not
more.
after what Uncle Sam took. Now do the math. So
You're tired.
I'm only human, and it seems every time I do something and I break another glass ceiling, when it's time to renegotiate, I'm at the bottom again, like I never did what I just did, and I'm just tired. I'm tired. I'm tired.
I get that.
It wears on you, because what
All right, y'all. What do you think? I looked at how it triggered something in me, because I realized that what she expressed has created the money psychology that so many of us deal with. Sister Taraji says she's sick and tired. She's sick and tired of working so hard and not getting the money that she's due. It resonated with me because I've been in the corporate world, in the business world. I've done a lot of big things. I built a lot of big businesses, millions of dollars, approaching $1 billion of development. Somebody would say, well, whose fault is it that you didn't get what you deserve? And what money psychology did I settle into, just like my sister might be settling into, that put me on that kind of hamster wheel? Just like her, I'm brilliant. I'm powerful. I'm using my own self. She's brilliant. She's powerful. She deserves every accolade in that industry. I feel the same way with myself about business and the work that I do. But over time, I started to believe that I had to work extra hard and that I had to work harder than the next person in order to get whatever it was that I got. And while it may seem like it's a lot to other people, but it wasn't a lot compared to what other people were getting on the projects, for example. And so that money psychology started to settle into me. And what I think our sister, with her platform and where she said it and how she said it, she's setting off a new way of thinking, a new way of being. Because we are sick and tired of being sick and tired. We're sick and tired of being the most talented. We're sick and tired of you telling us that psychologically we got to be the best, the most beautiful, the most together. We got to bring to the table all this stuff that a lot of people can't even touch the hem of our garments with. And that's what we got to do in order to deserve what little we got. And if we don't do it, then we got to go do something real crazy. And this is to me, this is the money psychology that they're encouraging us to have. You got to work your butt off. You got to be extra talented. You got to damn near be some kind of savant in your field of endeavor. I know that I am. You got to damn near almost be like Rain Man, if you will, when it comes to your talents and your businesses in order to get what it is that you deserve. I've been in rooms with people, with professionals, with business people who you all see on TV and y'all say, oh, this billionaire or this multi-millionaire. And I'm the one doing the work. I'm the one with the strategy. I'm the one who wrote it out. I'm the one who put it together. I can literally sit there and build a multi-million-dollar business. I can build the framework of it in 30 minutes. Because I'm like Rain Man when it comes to that stuff. But what happens? We are living in a world where they're telling us that's how you got to be in order to just get these crumbs. And these are crumbs compared to what it is that they're getting. It's crumbs that we get, that we take home compared to what they're taking home. So people are tired and people are sick and tired. And so it's time for a new way of doing things. It's time for a different way of doing things. It's time for us to adopt the approach of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, where we got to unite. We got to pool our resources. We got to do for self. We got to be more intentional about how we do for self. You sit there and I sit there and we can have a whole business and we will watch people walk around us and go to Neiman Marcus and buy something. It's like, look, I'm right here. And you know how hard I work. We also have our thing where we're always criticizing each other, always talking smack. And then what does that psychology do? It makes us try to figure out, how do we make certain strategic moves for our lives and consider what other people will have to think. Well, it's time out for that. We got to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. We have to start supporting one another. We have to be intentional about it. If you got a business and you're not intentional about supporting another Black person, you don't deserve to be successful in business. Our sister is sitting there on the stage. She is a phenomenal actor. She is world class. She is up there with the Meryl Streeps of the world and all these other people that win all of these iconic awards. She's right there with them, if not even better. She should not be sitting there saying there was a time when she couldn't even order a pizza. She would come home from acting in a movie and couldn't even order a pizza. I think that was Fantasia who said that. That shouldn't happen, because we should live in a world where our talents is what we determines what we pull out of the universe. And so we got to figure out how to nurse on the God who put this in the universe for us, as opposed to making this white man our God and saying, why you won't pay me? Why you treating me like that? And I'm not saying it as a put down on my sister, because I've been there. I've been there where we look at somebody else and say, man, why won't they do this for me? Why won't they help me? Well, that means, and I know I'm like most people out here, I'm harder on myself probably than God is on myself. So I'm constantly scanning myself. What could I do better? I don't want to be like that person. Sometimes I see people be so selfish and hateful, and I say, I don't want to be that person. That ain't who I am. And I'll intentionally go out and give and go out and do something just so that I'm not that person. But my point of the matter that I'm making is this. It's time out for that. It's time for us to start building our economy. It's time for us to start supporting each other. We have what, $1 trillion that pass through our hands every single year. So stop talking about black people ain't got no money. We got $1 trillion that's passing through our hands. And how long does it stay in our community? 6 hours? 6 minutes, I think it is. That's crazy. I don't have my stats right on that. Maybe it's 6 minutes. Somebody can look it up for me. But look, if you buying holiday gifts, some of y'all running around at malls, dropping your credit card at the mall, paying the white man who don't even want you in a store, paying an Asian person who's following you around the damn store. You got brothers and sisters out here that you can buy a gift card to their restaurant. You got brothers and sisters with a store where you can go in their store and buy a t-shirt. You ain't doing nothing but buying some cheap crap at the mall anyway. So we got to do better. It's time out for that. I remember there was a doctor when I first started working with my business partner, and he was building his practice, and he started calling me, asking me questions about guidance on how to put his practice together. And so since he was good friends with my business partner, I said, why don't you talk to him? He said, no, I want to get it from you. And so I refused to give it to him for free. And this Negro went and paid a white man $150,000 to put his practice together. And that was 10 years ago. And it still ain't right. Still ain't right. So we got to stop that. You just think because somebody look a certain way that they're going to do right by you, that's the right thing to do. We got to change our mentality. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us, stop looking at this world, this white man, his system as God. And look at yourself as God. Understand that you are a direct descendant of God. You deserve the best of the best. I deserve for you to support me. You deserve for me to support you. You deserve it. You deserve that if you fall on hard times that somebody writes you a check. Fantasia said that when she got to the point where she had lost everything, that Tyler Perry was the only person who opened his checkbook to her. She deserves that. That's the way we got to be with one another in our community. Where's our support? Why are we always hating? And why do we let other people who this whole propaganda that the white man has against us, where they build us up and then they spy on us and then they capture our weaknesses. And then once they get our weaknesses, they keep our weakness in the back pocket. And then they use us to make millions and billions of dollars. And then the minute that we don't do what they tell us to do, then they throw down their trump card, which is our weaknesses. That's their ace. That's their joker. We know you do this. We know you do that. We know you do this. And we fall for it every single time. Yeah, we need to heal. Yeah, we need to get ourselves together. But everybody got weaknesses. Everybody got some shit with them. Excuse my language for cursing this morning, but this is how I want this to penetrate our soul and why our money psychology is important. Why is it important? I wish I knew Taraji P. Henson, because I want to sit with her and say, sister, your money psychology should not be tied to what these white folks in this wicked industry has done to you. Your money psychology should not be tied to that, sister. You are a God in front of that screen. And you deserve everything that a child of God deserves. And I wish that I could put us in a position where we can support people when people are out here entertaining us, providing us with stuff, giving us information, but we don't. What do? We sit back, we talk smack. We gossip, we slander, but what did the messenger tell us? No slack talk, no gossip, right? No wanton criticism of everything Black. He told us separate ourselves. He didn't just mean separate physically. He meant separate mentally. So this mindset that we got where we got to jump up, it's holiday time, we at Macy's, we at Nordstrom's, we at Neiman Marcus, separate your mind. What's the Black stores in your community? Yeah, you might got to drive a little bit extra. Maybe you can't just go down the street. But where's the Black stores? You can go in there. It's some Black stores that got some real cute stuff. Go in there and get the gifts. There's Black stores that got Black toys, Black books. Get the children's stuff there. You ain't got to run there, but we got to separate our mind. And I'm not trying to hurt nobody's feelings or come down extra hard on us, but I just want to point out to us how we are not separated. We're fake, we're phony, we're bifurcated. And this ain't just for, I know hit dogs will holler, so some of y'all hitting the head right now, but I'm talking about myself too. Because just like what she's talking about, I had to sit there and say, why am I crying about how much I've done for somebody? Well, I'm crying about how much I've done because I want them to be the one to give me the money to compensate me for what it is that I do. How about I stop making a God out of them? How about, sister, that they ain't your God? Your people is your God. You smart, you got revenue, you Tyler Perry is your friend, different people doing independent stuff. Let's create our own production companies. Is money in the Black community? Some people, well, I just probably won't make no money. It is money in the Black community. If it wasn't money in the Black community, they wouldn't be in our communities. As soon as they get off the boat, where do they go? To our community. As soon as they get to the city, what do they do? They come in, open a shop in our neighborhood. And what do? We flock there. We buy from them because that's our money psychology. The white man's ice is colder. His food tastes better. And y'all know that ain't true. We know it ain't true. We can get online and say, oh yeah, we got the best this and the best that. But we will run and take our hard-earned dollars, money that we done begged for, we done did immoral stuff for, we done worked all day for. We will go and take our hard-earned dollars and give it to somebody who don't like us, who won't even look up from the counter when we walk into their store. We got to stop this. This is our money psychology tune-up. What about doing for self? What about being intentional about the things that we do? What about being intentional and having the mindset and say, I'm going to do this? We done got to the point where we don't even love our own history. We're at the point now where anything older than us, anything that's old is old and irrelevant. We don't even care about it. You got young people asking if Martin Luther King was a slave. We ought to be ashamed of ourselves. See, this is why Sister Taraji can sit on the stage and cry about not getting enough money, sister, because the value for what it is that you do is not being taught and intentionalized in our community. So we're going to continue to sit on stage and cry about not getting enough money, because if our own people with our $1 trillion won't pay us and support us, then why in the world do you expect your enemy? And yes, I'm saying it. Why do you expect your enemy to give you the money? Why? Because they gave Oprah $1 billion? Because they gave so-and-so such and such amount of money? See, white supremacy needs some of us to be successful. It's like the carrot on the stick, so we can dangle it. Our parents say, ooh, girl, one day you're going to grow up and be just like that. Our parents and family members saying, you got to be like that. So that's the carrot. That's the carrot that they dangle in our face. And guess what they're doing? All while they're paying those people money, they are spying on them. They're handling them, and they know every one of their weaknesses. And the very minute they don't do what they want to do, or when they decide they want to cash in, guess what they're going to do? They're going to play that trump card. Oh, we know your weakness is this, this, and this. And guess what? If you was down with your community, and if we was being intentional and we was paying attention and protecting and loving one another, we would say, man, we ain't trying to hear that. We know our sister got weaknesses. We know our brother got weaknesses. We know that this is something they struggling with. You ain't telling us nothing we don't know. So get on with that. But we can't do it. We can't do it because we too busy looking at everything through their eyes. We gotta stop. We gotta do better. This is the money psychology conversation, and this is the money psychology mindset that we need to have. Nothing but high vibrations, loving vibrations. Some of y'all say, well, our people is so savage and our people is so cutthroat. Everybody ain't savage and everybody ain't cutthroat. If you feel like everybody is savage and everybody is cutthroat, then there's something wrong with you. It's good people out here. It's good Black people out here. And y'all know it. You call yourself a good Black person. So let's get out of that. Let's drop all that they're putting this in our head. And so we walking around thinking, well, I can't date no men because in pop culture, so-and-so got a divorce. So-and-so got a divorce. He left her after all them years. It's how many millions of people is it out here who's loving each other, who's together, who support one another, who go to church, who go to mosque, who are good people? Everybody ain't ratchet. Everybody ain't messed up. Come on, y'all. We got to do better. We got to do better. We got to respect those that came before us. The messenger and the minister teach us that history is the most qualified to teach us. Because look, it's in the basics of these professions that we respect. You go to the doctor, what do? They take a history and physical first. So in order to put together their analysis of you and your symptoms and what you presented into the office with today, they look at a history and they do a physical. So they're supposed to take a history and physically touch you. History and physical. That's how they know. That's how they put together the plan. That's how they know what test to order. Right? Same thing if you go to an attorney. What's the history of the case? Well, we over here walking around, we don't even care about our history, let alone don't know our history. We don't even care about it. Y'all look at me like I'm crazy because I'm like, look, preserve your history. Support the completion of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House. Y'all think I'm nuts. Oh, man, that's a good. Some of y'all say, oh, that's a good sister. That's sweet. Then some of y'all say, she crazy. Look at what's going on now. It's always something. But we should be loving our history enough because in order to put together the plan for us to move forward, we got to know our history. In order for us to even be able to have discernment. Check this out. Part of why we don't know what's going on and we can't discern fact from fiction when we watch TV is because we don't even know our history. We don't even know how to recognize historical patterns. So we can't see it. You should be an avid studier and supporter of history and preservation. Let me tell you something. The white man is. He all on your history. He on everybody else's history. The first thing he do when he go in and invade a country, what does he do? He take the artifacts out of the country and put them in his museums in Europe. You don't believe it? Google it and find out. That's where all the stuff is. That's where all the valuable stuff is. That's where all the history is. That's where all the stories is. Everything about you and you being a descendant from God himself is up in their museums. You can best believe that. The first mathematicians, the first scientists. See, they make you think that they're the ones who up on technology. They're the ones who invented technology. Technology been around since before the Bible. Y'all didn't know that, right? Ezekiel's wheel, that's technology. Technology is what takes us to the next level as a people. This technology been around. We've been mathematicians. How in the world did Abu Bakr and them over in the East, in Africa, know that there were people over here in what we call now North America? How did they even know? They was communicating through some form of technology. How did they build those pyramids so that they're connected through ley lines? It's technology. Where did the technology come from? It didn't come from Bill Gates and Elon Musk, they didn't live back then. It came from God himself. So we can't walk around saying the wheel is real, but we don't believe in technology. Technology comes in the form of medicine. It comes in the form of the way we do things. Why does that tie into our money psychology? It ties into our money psychology because they got us in such an imprisoned box. We're afraid of technology. We're afraid of anything new. We don't like each other. We're scared of each other. We don't like our children. Our children don't like us. We don't like the neighbors. The neighbors don't like us. We don't like the people down the street. The people down the street don't like us. We in there. We hidden behind our masks. We can't trust nothing. What in the world kind of paranoid type of world? We working our butts off like Sister Taraji, and we ain't getting the money. Let me tell you something that made me, and I'm going to say this and then I'm going to go to our comments because I know I see a lot of comments and I know I told you all to put some things in the chat. So I remember I was working for this consulting firm. And I was very intentional about going into business consulting because I never wanted to be sitting at the same desk year after year. And the way I looked at it was they told us we got to work hard. We got to be the best of the best. So I said, I can satisfy two things. I can satisfy the Rain Man in me, if you will, by being in and out of a lot of different companies and learning a lot of things at once. I can satisfy that. That does something for me. But then I also can learn faster and learn more by going in and out. So while my colleagues may be able to say, I sat at this one desk at this company for 2-3 years, that wasn't my reality. I was moving around. I was in and out a lot. So I developed a certain kind of muscle. I was working for a particular consulting firm. It had gotten to the point where most of the clients were mine. I was doing most of the work. The partners never came in. And one of the partners was somebody I had worked with at a previous project. And he told me, he said, I'm lazy. He was like, you can do this. He said, you can run the company. So I pretty much ran it. And at the end of the year, we had a celebration in the conference room. And they broke out the champagne. And I woke up that morning feeling really heavy. There was something on my heart that wasn't feeling right. My solar plexus was aching me. And so my heart was heavy and my solar plexus was aching and something wasn't right. So when they started passing around the list of clients for the year and the revenue that was made from each client, and the two partners who were there, they were celebrating making $17 million from a company that they never, I think maybe they came in the office maybe once a month. And guess who made them that $17 million? Now, if I went into my Negro conquered woman mentality, it's like, girl, you was making $265,000 a year. And so a lot of people's like, girl, that was good. But I'm looking at what they taking home. And I'm the one doing all the work. And I'm not talking about I'm just lifting boxes. I'm talking about I'm the strategist. I'm getting the client. I'm structuring the deal. I'm putting the client business together. I'm sitting down with the lawyers. We got clients coming in with big problems. Big problems. I'm sitting with their attorneys. I'm strategizing. I'm getting up out of it. And we had that meeting at the end of the year. And they sat up there and gave their speeches, and they brought in one of the top clients as well as an attorney. 4 people spoke. Nobody asked me a question, didn't say anything to me. And I sat there and looked at that paper and I cursed myself out. I said, you a damn fool. Why is it that you can sit up in here and do this for these people? They don't even come in the office. And they don't have to say a word to you. They can get their check and you're going to wait till the 15th to get that money in your account, just like everybody else. So I'm saying I know where Taraji is. I've been there, not once, but quite a few times. And don't get me wrong, you got to negotiate. You got to chop that money up. You got to split things up with people. But it was a real eye opener about what I started feeling was lack of support. I started feeling like I just had this real, I kind of sunk into a little depression because of that. And that's actually what excited me or incited me to become an emotional intelligence coach, was to climb my way up out of that. Okay, so let's see what we got. Mom says, happy Saturday, everyone. Sister Betty is here. Great morning. Brother Michael says, wa assalamu alaikum. So I'm saying, wa alaikum salam. Tashi says salam. Brother Lamont, hope you feeling better and out of the hospital. Good morning and wa alaikum salam. Sister Sandra, wa alaikum salam. Regional Sky Girl, hey girl, hey. She said greetings from home. Y'all go out there and subscribe to Regional Sky Girl. I found her YouTube channel because she had commented on something, and I was just going to click to support her. But it's kind of cool to watch her. She's doing her meal prep, and she's got a great personality, and she's always on here, and she's so supportive. So jump out there and support our sister. Sister Betty said one of her money psychology things that she had growing up was, if you make a quarter, save a nickel. Now that's a good one. I remember hearing Patti LaBelle. I was in college and I heard Patti LaBelle in an interview, and she said, save your money because it will save your life. And savings was a big part of, I remember my mother used to give us bonds for Christmas and bonds for birthday and gifts and things like that. She would go buy bonds, and my dad would encourage us to save. So that is so important. Brother Michael said, my dad always said money don't come easy, so don't be lazy. We hear that, right? And that kind of ties into the money psychology that Taraji P. Henson is saying she's sick and tired of. And we should all be sick and tired of. If we just unite and support, and guess what? All of us ain't got to be on the same page. It don't take all of us. Let me tell you something. If you have a restaurant, and let's say from this podcast, 10 extra people dine in your restaurant today, that might be the difference between you shutting down next week and turning a profit. If I do this podcast, well, here's a perfect example. We started talking about the development and the completion of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House. We down to a little less than $500,000 now. Y'all know I've been chunking away at it, and I'm thankful for you all with the small amounts that you all have given. But just think about it. What is $400,000? It's nothing. So guess what? If 10 people gave $1,000 or 10 people gave $100, that's a bill that I'm not paying. That's a step closer to supporting me and my goal. If Brother Michael has a business, and let's say he's selling t-shirts, and he's standing up in front of me and he says, I got these t-shirts for sale, and I know I'm buying holiday gifts anyway, and I go in to where he's selling t-shirts and I buy 10 of his t-shirts, that may make a difference in his day. So it don't take a lot. It don't take a lot. We just got to change our intentions and our money psychology. Brother Marcus says, my father said, don't work for money, make money work for you. That's right. Now that's good advice. Make money work for you. Part of that, Brother Marcus, is in making sure that money is not your God. That's what your father was telling you. See, because when you work for money, money is your God. That's your object of attention. That's your focus. But what he's saying, make money work for you. Money should be serving you. Money serves your goal and your purpose and what you have on your plate that you need to do. Money is here to service and take care of that for you. Good advice from Brother Marcus's father. Brother Victor said, Assalamu alaikum. We say, wa alaikum salam. Regional Sky Girl said, I can't think of any statements from my parents other than money don't grow on trees, right? That was the typical one. And I like to say, you know what? Let's say money do grow on trees. What's wrong with thinking about money growing on trees? And because if we think money grows on trees, we might relax our vibration a little bit and attract more money to ourselves. See, we got to start playing with these things in our head. It ain't going to hurt us. We ain't going to be no more broker than what we already are if we just flip the script a little bit. Okay, so yep, she got her thing on here for you all to share. Thank you so much. All right, what else we got out here? Sister Dawn, wa alaikum salam, ma'am. Sister Sandra said, growing up with 7 sisters and 7 brothers, money was scarce, so we had to go out and get it ourselves. I've always had to hustle for extras. That's a good trait, Sister Sandra, that you can really turn into being an entrepreneur. That's why a lot of people who are hustlers, that we call street hustlers or whatever we use as a demeaning term, they tend to do better in business than those of us who grew up educated, sitting at a desk, growing up getting the good grades and checking all the boxes, because we aren't necessarily taught to hustle. We're taught to do the right thing, get the good grade, be the perfect person, get the compliments, get the accolades. That's what we're taught to do. And so we have to learn hustle. But somebody like yourself, you starting, sister, way ahead of the game. All right, let's see. Sister Letha's here. Assalamu alaikum, sis. All right, I see y'all speaking to each other. Oh my God, yes. We always trying to imitate them. That's exactly right, Brother Victor. Okay, Sister Nubia Latifa says, Assalamu alaikum, Sister Sajdah and the Winner's Circle. I will have to replay because I have an appointment, but I wanted to answer part of your question from Thursday homework. My money psychology did not come from my mom. Okay, that's interesting. She says, it came from the outside world. All that I get, a job, money grows on trees. My mom never said those things to me, and she doesn't handle me like that. That's beautiful. That is beautiful, because a lot of times our parents just are trying to protect us. They're trying to protect us because they've been through so much. And so in what they're going through, they're trying to prevent us from going through what they're going through. So they tell us those little things so that they can help us, and so that we don't get our heart broken and we don't be discouraged. And so, people just parent from where they are. And most parents are trying to protect their family. So if your parents did say those things to you and handle you like that, oftentimes it wasn't to hurt you, it was to protect you. And so Sister Nubia Latifa is saying she didn't grow up in a household. Most of what she learned outside. So if you're that kind of person, then you have to go and analyze those outside influences. How did those outside influences impact your mindset? I talked to somebody, I told you all last week, who said they learned business from outside influences, and their outside influences were pimps and hustlers. I talked to somebody recently whose outside influences were other business people. They grew up in a family where a lot of people had businesses. So we all have different influences, and there's no one right way or wrong way. And so don't let nobody tell you that. Okay? Don't let anybody tell you that. Some people actually, Brother Michael said he does have a website where he sells t-shirts. Y'all see that? Allah gave me that about the brother. Look, if brother's selling t-shirts and 5 of y'all go out here and get a t-shirt today, that's going to make a difference for Brother Michael. Brother Michael, put your website for your t-shirt company in the chat. All right. I know this has been a more animated coffee talk than what y'all used to, but I just want to ingrain this in our brain that we got to start thinking. We got to start thinking differently about each other. We got to start thinking differently about money. And let me tell you something. Unity does not mean uniformity. We're not going to all like each other. We're not going to all look alike. We ain't going to all act alike. We ain't going to all vibe alike. It's not going to be that way. So let's get over that. Let's get over that. Let's understand that some of our brothers and sisters are going to vibrate differently from us. We come from all different backgrounds and all different walks of life. If you grew up in a certain neighborhood, it impacts who you are. There's nothing wrong with that. We want to be authentic so that we can pull out of that neighborhood and what we saw growing up and help it, and then use it to incorporate who we are. See, part of our problem is we want to throw away our past. We don't want nobody to know we grew up in the hood. We don't want nobody to know we grew up in a certain kind of way. I know for myself, it took me a long time. It took me a while when I got in the world and started meeting people to realize, like, I kind of grew up differently. You know, when I got in college and I would go home with some of my friends and I would see their house and not judging, but then I thought that my house was a regular house, but we had a big house with 2 kitchens. And I was just like, oh, let me embrace who I am. Let me embrace how I was raised. Let me embrace the struggles that my parents endured in order to raise me a certain way. Let me embrace who I am so that as a child, when I was sitting around and riding around in Mercedes and wearing the best of the best, that wasn't normal life. My mother and father pushed and made that happen for us. Let me embrace that's where I come from. Just like you got to embrace that where you came from. The sister who told me that she grew up around pimps and hustlers, I said, let's talk about that. Let's see what we can extract out of that. Let's see how that makes you who and what you are. And just like we were talking about with Sister Nubia, she said, Sister Sandra, she said, I was seeing hustlers growing up. And I said, well, I didn't necessarily see that kind of hustle, because my mojo was I started reading at 4 years old. So getting good grades and reading and checking all the boxes was my mojo. But then back on the inside, I wanted to be a business mogul. So I had to figure out how to reconcile and how to get that hustle up out of me. It's real talk. So, all right, y'all. It is Saturday before the holidays. Don't go crazy out here. I'm one of those people. I like this time of the year because I like the love that's in the air, whether it's real or not. I like going in the store and hearing songs about love and people caring about each other. And I like seeing families come together. So Thanksgiving, Christmas. But what I don't like is sometimes how we go overboard with things. What I don't like is how we running down here to this white man's store. And we got brothers and sisters with stores that are open that need our support. We can buy a gift, go in a black store, get a candle, get a gift card, get a book, get a t-shirt, get a piece of jewelry, find a black person's website online and order some stuff for your family and give those away as gifts. Give conscious gifts away. I done told y'all before, instead of running to the store, give somebody a commemorative Elijah coin. They don't have to be in the nation to get this. If you run into the store and you about to spend $350 on somebody in the store, give them something historic that's going to appreciate and value. Something where maybe you can educate them a little bit. Maybe you say, well, I know they're not really into, thank you, Brother Michael. This is Brother Michael's t-shirt. Some of you all may be saying, well, I know they're not really into this. They don't. Well, teach them. Show them something. It don't make sense that there's people around us and they don't know about what we claim to believe in. And if you don't believe in it, but you believe in history, then give them something. Give them something that makes sense. Give somebody something. I was in a store and they had these little prayer cards. It was a Muslim store. And I love these little prayer cards. So I bought up a bunch of them. They had bookmarks. And I used these little prayer cards as gifts that I would give to my coaching clients. This one particularly has a prayer on here about anxiety and grief and overcoming debt by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I would give it to my money psychology coaching clients, these little prayer cards. Well, I could have went to Barnes & Noble and bought them some little cards. I could have went to Barnes & Noble and bought a expensive card, gift card or something, some kind of, a bookmark. I could have went there, but I didn't. I went to my brothers and sisters store and I got this gift card with a prayer on it written for us by a black man. So this is what I'm talking about. You ain't got to be angry and militant about it, but what we got to do is be intentional. We got to be conscious. All right, family. Brother Garland, Max says, good conversation, psychology of money. I know this ain't what y'all expected today, but this is what Allah gave me today. So happy Saturday. Don't go overboard. Don't go crazy. Don't be going places where you're not wanted. Somebody don't want you in the store, turn around. If you go in the store and they acting crazy towards you, leave out. Leave. Don't do that. Don't follow your money. I never follow my money if I can help it behind bad attitude and bad energy. And I can't stand being in a situation where I don't have a choice. And this person, I know they don't like me. I know they disrespect me, but I got to go ahead and give them my money. I cannot stand this. So what I'm saying to you all is, let's be intentional. Let's think. Let's be conscious. We have $1 trillion that passes through our community. Stop looking at the whole cake. Y'all remember the cake method? Where's the trillion? The trillion is me buying a prayer card for my clients when I give them gifts from a Black store. The other trillion is buying a gift from somebody Black that's doing stuff. What's the other trillion? Get a t-shirt from Brother Michael. That's all part of the trillion. You got a store in your community, go. If you may have to drive a little extra, buy a gift from there. Stay up out these people's stores, giving them money, but yet you complaining because you got a business and don't nobody want to support you. Well, you can't expect of nobody what you don't do for them. One of the greatest compliments that I received, that Dr. George Frazier says to me all the time, he says, Wendy, you walk the walk and talk the talk. You are what you say other people should be. I support. I love people. I try to be there if they're going through something. I try to just make them have a good day. I try to be an asset. I'm going to buy Black, be about that Black. I like nice things. And I can find nice things in the Black store. I can find nice things in the white store. But you better believe if I walk into Gucci, you better treat me right. Because if I walk up in there and you acting crazy with me, you ain't getting my money. Then that $5,000 I was going to spend on a bag, guess what? I can chop that up and go spend it with some Black folks. I don't need that. It ain't necessary. So, all right, family. Sister Betty said, period. That's right, Sister Betty. Thank you, Sister Sajdah. Yes, bite by bite. That's right, Sister Sandra. We're going to chunk at this $1 trillion. Trillion is the big cake. It's bite by bite by bite. You got some of the trillion in your hands. I got some of the trillion in my hands. Your sister got some of the trillion in their hands. And the more you pay it forward and the more you teach people and show people, I'm always recommending other businesses. Y'all see, we got the whole Black Muslim business directory. That's what it's about to me. We all got a piece of that trillion. Okay. Let's see. Up with Jesus, down with Santa. That's exactly right. Did y'all see the cover of the Final Call this week? If not, Google it and get you a digital subscription. Okay. Walk away if the store is disrespecting you. Brother Lamont said, this is great. Sister Betty said, love these teachings. Brother Garland said, good conversation. Praise be to Allah. Okay. All right. Welcome back, Brother Lamont. Glad you're feeling better. Brother Michael said, you on point. Sister Alita sent the bullseye. She said, that's right. Okay. Happy Saturday, family. I love you all. If you like this kind of content, we going into 2024. We not playing with nobody. We not taking no prisoners. We sick and tired of being sick and tired. We getting it in 24. Okay. If you enjoy this content, support, like, and subscribe to the channel. Cash App is here. It's Sajdah Enterprises. Support the completion of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House. Let's do this thing, y'all. Let's do it as a people. Bite by bite by bite. You got a piece of the trillion. I got a piece of the trillion. We all got a piece of the trillion. And we start putting those pieces together. Guess what? We will be unstoppable. Peace and blessings.
You belong to yourself. You're an independent people, created from the nation of free people. Yes, sir. You don't need to go nowhere but to yourself. Yes, sir. There will be a great separation. Yes, sir. So I said, it is on now.
The college is meant to prepare you for your future. That the time dictates that if we don't do something for ourselves as a people, we will be destroyed. And the aim of the enemy right now is to take us out.
We have God with us. We held him as our guide. Yes, sir. We don't have to stand around here and ask the question, what must be done? Yes, sir. Get up and let's go and do something. Yes, sir. We cannot sit down. We cannot lay down. Yes, sir. We must get up. Yes, sir. And go to work.
Do you know what real joy is in life? Visioning something and bringing it into reality. That's real joy. Do you know what the next step in joy is? Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell in unity.
Tonight, you need to fasten your seatbelts. We're going to hear from some of the greatest minds in the world. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of trusting our future and the future of our children into the hands of those who don't love us. I believe we need to revitalize black leadership.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who in my judgment is the master historian, taught us that of all our studies, history is the most attractive, and it is best qualified to reward the researcher. History is most attractive. Why should history be most attractive? Because history is the recorded time of the human family in its struggle to overcome obstacles. There is no life that is without struggle. The Holy Quran teaches us that man, meaning man and woman, is made to face difficulties. And after difficulty comes ease. But it is history that guides us through difficulty. For if you know how people who had difficulty yesterday got through, and if your difficulty is somewhat similar, then today we also can get through if we follow the guidance of history. This is why Carter G. Woodson and many of our black giants fought for black people to know our history. Because in not knowing our history, we don't have a guide. And without a guide, we are lost. No wonder the Bible